And welcome back. It's me, your boy Eli.
It's me, Joe.
And it's me, Daniel.
And we're back here at Comicpalooza. It's our second time in the year, and yeah, we're happy to be back.
Yeah, we were back here last year for the podcast partnership program. It was a fun time.
It was a lot of fun time. We had a very fun discussion there too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in light of the fact that we just came back from Texas Showdown, and the fact that Combo Breaker is going on right now, because obviously,
which are both fighting game tournaments, in case no one's in the know, right?
Yeah, we're big fighting game fans. I got my stick out here, custom made, lights up with LED lights. It's beautiful, based on Gundam because I'm a big Gundam fan. Got a Ryu shirt.
Yeah, I'm full Terry Bogard, a cosplay. Real Terry Bogard, the guy in Fatal Fury, who's right now in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and coming up with a new game next year, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, and I cannot wait for that game.
Isn't he just buff Pokemon trainer in the game?
I mean, no.
No, he is.
Potentially, yes, potentially, yeah.
So, in light of that, so I thought it'd be really fun, and it would be really funny if we just talked about some of the weirdest video game cartoons that are out there. And since we're basically talking about fighting games, we focused it mostly on like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, all the stuff that I had to narrow it down. So I went with the most simple ones. So there's some here that maybe not everyone here has seen, but some people have seen.
If we're going to learn anything by the end of this, is that the 90s were weird for anime cartoons.
They were very weird.
Yeah, and for some reason, a lot of R-rated content were made for kids, like RoboCop or Rambo.
Yeah, and that's like two of the ones we're going to start off with, because like Mortal Kombat, like the most popular fighting game in like a long time, still is for a lot of casual fans. However we feel about MK1, that's a different story, right? That's a different story. Like I think the game is fine.
People love ripping the spines out of other people in a fighting game,
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And, aside from, like, the low kick not landing where it should land, for all those... I don't want to focus on that. We're going to talk about cartoons.
Yeah, what you bring to the classroom, Eli?
So, when talking about, like animated Mortal Kombat stuff, we already talked about, like, the stuff that's already come out, like Scorpion's Revenge. Was it Cage Match? That's the one with Johnny Cage?
Yeah, Cage Match with Johnny Cage and
okay.
Still Flying with Sub-Zero.
Yeah. So this one was actually the first one. It was a direct-to-DVD special. And it's kind of like a prequel of the movie. It's supposed to, like, it's based on the 90s movie, right? With, I'm forgetting everyone's name in that movie.
But it's the one. Yeah, it's the thing that's movie.
Yeah, it's the movie, and so we're gonna play like a bit of a minute clip here. I see a Yukari from Persona 3 over there. Hello, I just finished the game. It was amazing. So we're gonna play like a few minute clip. Joey, would you please?
Yeah, I got you. Hopefully it catches on the camera, but I mean for the audience, this is really what you guys.
Chosen above all others as the last best hope.
Look at that animation.
Lieutenant Sonya Blade,
Oh god. It gives off the vibe of that really crappy like CDI kind of game. Right.
I mean, look at the physics on the flag though.
Oh
god,
god.
right?
So we're not gonna play the whole clip, but you can find this whole movie on YouTube.
It's a movie?
It's a movie.
It's like some sort of like regular like Saturday morning cartoon.
That's the next one. So the thing about this one is clearly the fact that the animation is just very gross.
Like it has this weird combination too. Like you'll have like characters in 2D around the environments and all that stuff. It's all in 3D CGI.
Yeah.
Here right now.
So and if you watch the rest of it, you'll see like a weird design for Scorpion. Like you can look up the design and it is really, really bad. And like I tried to find like a good VHS or like art for this, but I couldn't find it, and they were all very crap quality. So I just went with the logo on this one. So it's really bad.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, because the next one's at least a little more fun to talk about.
Yeah, like this one is just.
Yes, the Defenders of the Realm.
Okay, so this is the one I think I remember a lot of.
Yeah, no, this is the one that a lot of people would know about. It's very much sort of a sequel to the film, kind of, sort of, in that weird vein of like, it's a Saturday morning cartoon version.
You mean like the Godzilla show?
Exactly, the one from the 90s, yes.
Yeah,
the one that from the Roland Emmerich, right?
Yeah, Roland Emmerich, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was, which is a lot better than most people think it should
No,
be.
it's that show is straight up more Godzilla than the actual movie was. So,
They have a Mega Godzilla in that movie.
Yeah.
In the street cartoon.
Yeah, that pretty much speaks volumes to how how
Yeah.
more faithful to the show was than the movie. But
This is not. This is not that.
Like, this one's just there to sell you toys.
It is exactly what it's made for. And like a lot of people tend to be surprised at the fact that this is where Quan Chi first showed up.
That's right.
Yeah, Quan Chi, his original, before the funny meme of him being on the arcade cabinet, he was in this. He's right there. Look at him. That's Quan Chi. That is the most Quan Chi looking dude I've ever seen in my life.
He looks so awesome.
Yeah, again, you can find this whole episode on YouTube. So for all you guys want to watch some like really funny things, there you go. It's just
oh, all right. Well, that's just a bit silly.
it's a cartoon. And that reminds me, this specific episode. There's a plot point where like Jax was a fat kid.
That's right.
Why Jax though?
Why not? I don't know. It's always one of those things. It's like Jax is a fat kid. I don't know why. It's just really weird. It's supposed to teach a lesson, I
Like,
guess.
it's supposed to be like anti-bullying, which I get, but it's kind of a weird choice they did.
What lesson do I need to learn from Mortal Kombat besides breaking the bones of my enemies and hitting them with like a bunch of fire and stuff?
It's like, bullying is wrong, and
You shouldn't rip out the heart. You should perform a friendship. That's what the idea is.
Who cares about friendships when you're playing Mortal Kombat, alright?
Well, listen, I'm not gonna be like. There's always that one guy who rages when you always pull off the same fatality over and over again.
Yeah, but it's always fun though.
For you.
you tell me you don't get entertainment, hearing people curse you out live in the middle of an MK match.
What was that old Justin Wong quote? You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn today. This is the real world, son.
Just to make a point on Mortal Kombat, again, it's really weird that in the 90s we had cartoons for RoboCop, Rambo, and Mortal Kombat.
There was a Karate Kid cartoon.
Yeah, well, here's the thing though. Karate Kid doesn't have
It's like family friendly.
Daniel.
Anyway.
What's his name?
Daniel Russo.
Yeah, and Karate Kid doesn't like snap his enemies' necks in the movie.
Yeah, but he's chasing like objects apparently in that show. We were talking about fighting games. What did they do with Karate Kid?
I'm just saying. The point is, it's very weird that the 90s made a bunch of kids shows about R-rated stuff.
Listen, it started with the 80s. If we want to go down that road, it started with the 80s. It all started with He-Man. It all started.
All right.
Okay, so the next one, to follow up the fact that that the Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Earth was basically a sequel to the movie. We have the Street Fighter cartoon that also came out in the 90s. That one was also basically a sequel to the movie. So basically, the Van Damme movie, everything you saw there has been transferred to that cartoon.
Yeah, because if I recall, the plot is more on Guile being like a leader of a special forces team, and they have to go take down Bison, right?
Yeah, the special forces team known as Street Fighter.
Yeah, we're going for G.I. Joe kind of ruined this one.
Yeah, it's so weird because so obviously I got the Street Fighter shirt. I love Street Fighter. It's one of my favorite games. I know a little bit of the lore because the lore is kind of nuts. Not as nuts as Tekken, but that's a different story. It's having Guile as the main character was always the weird. For the movie, I get because it's Jean-Claude Van Damme, right?
Yeah.
He is the moneymaker. He is the guy who's gonna bring in the people. But having Guile be the main character is just so weird for me.
Yeah, most of the time Ryu is on the bus. Ryu is the guy.
Yeah.
Ryu and Ken, they're the two guys.
Yeah,
right?
they're the two guys.
It just feels weird that you pick granted Guile is cool.
He's cool. He's the best team in the game.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Guile's cool, but it's always been Ryu and Ken. So
Yes.
it's always that's always been the weird thing with the. I mean, yeah, like you said, with the movie, I understand Jean-Claude Van Damme, action.
I think it's fast though. Technically, Capcom even said each Street Fighter will have a different hero. Street Fighter 1 was Ryu and Ken, and then 3 was supposed to be Alex. 4 was what was his name? I think it was Abel, right?
Able.
Able.
Yeah,
And then-
that one didn't work as much.
Yeah, 5 was Rashid, and right now with 6, it's Luke.
Boy Luke.
But with Street Fighter 2, they never really specified who's the hero. So
Yeah.
we can say with these cartoons,
Yeah.
Gal's the unofficial hero of Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, no, and go ahead. I chose this clip because it's the one that made me laugh all the time. So could you please?
All right.
If I'm guessing right, this is the famous clip that's always used in YouTube groups.
No.
Nicely done, love.
That's Cammy there.
Give us a big kiss.
So the plot of that episode really is like Cammy. Okay, so if you don't know Cammy's backstory, she's kind of a clone, right?
Like, yeah, so she basically like was, I guess, brainwashed by M. Bison to be a psycho soldier. So whenever something happens to him, like he gets killed, his soul gets transferred to whatever soldier he has in, in a backlog, I guess.
This is Street Fighter lore, by the way.
This is Street Fighter lore.
Yeah.
I see the guy right there who's being like, "What is going on?" Like, dude, I know. This is we have to deal with this. I know.
Fighting games can never be so complicated, you know?
So I mean, that's the reason I chose this clip, because it's so funny, because it's, in the show, she gets brainwashed, yeah, and she kind of falls in love with Bison, whatever. And this is how weird it is again. This is very much indicative of the Van Damme movie, where Cammy is in love with Guile, even though in the game, Guile is, well, you guys know the name, right? He's a family man. He has a wife and daughter.
Yeah, he straight up has a family. So it's kind of weird, you know, seeing this iteration just being like, no, Cammy, she's been taken away from me. It's like, bro, you have a wife and kid at home. What's wrong with you?
He also has a girlfriend in the show.
What in the actual...
It's so weird. And I love the fact, and it's just, so the first, this is I think the second season. And by the second season...
This has 2 seasons?
It has 2 seasons. The animation quality went down.
Oh, really? It had a peak there at one point?
I mean, however you want to peak. If you peaked in middle school, you peaked in middle school, that's all I'm saying. But no, that's why, like, again, I chose it because it's a really funny clip. And I just love the fact that Gao just cries like a little baby. He's like,
To be fair, I will say this. I mean, as much as we crap on the show, it did give us like one of the best like scenes from M. Bison going, yes!
Yes! That's exactly why, too. I think it has a little bit of, like, staying power in the fact that it just...
Out of memes,
it's
you know.
So, whoa, that was not me. That was you?
No,
Anyway,
yeah, so like, if you were back in the early days, rotting your brain watching YouTube clips like I did, you recognize a bunch of these Street Fighter clips whenever they're using those YouTube clips. Man.
yeah. And, like, before you move on, it's so funny to me that, like, we're here talking about how Ken and Ryu are, like, the mainstay characters. Like, you cannot get rid of them. Like, even in Street Fighter 3, where supposedly they weren't in the game.
New generation.
Yeah, new generation. It was supposed to be like all new characters. They're like, no, we need Ken and Ryu. They are like the money makers.
Oh yeah, like, recognizable characters people love. And it
Yeah.
even stay with Ryu or Ken either. They either brought back Chun-Li and even Akuma.
Yeah, but that was like way later in that game's
Life cycle.
Yeah. And I mean, here it's like Ken and Ryu are such like side characters, and it's so kind of sad, especially Ryu, who's like the guy. He is Mr. Street Fighter, right?
I mean, when you think about it, he's still kind of treated like a side character too. If you watch Street Fighter 2, the animated movie,
Yes.
I mean, it was mostly focused on Chun-Li and Guile going around the world trying to
Yeah,
find Ryu.
but Ryu had the cool moments. But like the thing about this one, it's like, man, if you are a Ryu main or you like Ryu, don't watch this. There's an episode where like Akuma comes in. Akuma, my boy, Akuma, the baddest dude ever. The guy I'm playing right now in Street Fighter 6. He comes in. He's like, I'm here to fight you, Ryu, because you're supposed to be the best. Actually, no. But you find out that Ken's really the best, and he's the one that beats Akuma, and that just feels dirty.
Yeah, because Ken's whole thing, he's not into the whole thing with Akuma and how Akuma killed Ryu's master, and there's a whole thing with the Tatsunori Hano,
Yeah.
just that whole storyline. Like
Yeah.
Ken's not even involved.
No, he's not. He's just like, I just like to fight. I like getting money out of this.
I mean, I just do this for fun. I mean, it's no big deal.
Yeah, no, he's a rich man. So the next one, I don't have a clip because I couldn't find a good enough example for it, but I never hear anyone talking about this. It's Street Fighter 2B, so this is an actual anime, like 25 episode produced anime, and it's interesting. Like, it's not bad, but it's just so different to what we're used to when it comes to Street Fighter. You know, the main example is Ryu doesn't look like Ryu. He looks like Akira from Virtual Fighter.
Yeah, I just noticed because I was like, is that Ryu? Because he has spiky hair, and like Ryu doesn't really have that spiky hair. Who is this lady in pink, by the way? Like,
so that's his childhood friend.
What new lore am I learning here?
So.
Yeah, so that's the childhood friend who was quite a love with Ryu that you know he would never
Christ.
acknowledge.
I love the fact that you are the most blind one to this.
Well, to be fair, I've only known at least a couple of these just from memes. So now you guys explaining like the hidden lore about Ryu's childhood friend, right? That like may or may not be into him. So it's like, what the, you know?
And she only appears in one episode.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, if it helps you feel better, man. I mean, I think there is an episode where we see Akuma showing how he makes a living traveling around the world by seeing
so funny enough, Akuma hasn't showed up in this because at the time Akuma has not been released in Street Fighter 2. But he was such a popular character by the time he came out that they kind of had it be a cameo in every episode. So it's like a little like, where's Waldo? Like, where is Akuma? Oh, he's right there. What's he doing there? He just happens to be in prison with Sagat in Thailand. I'm not sure. But yeah,
okay.
so part of the story of this one is that Ryu and Ken got their ass beat by Guile because of course it happens. I'm not saying that because like Guile is Guile. It's because like, well, for one, Guile was the shuttle killer in Street Fighter 2.
Well, yeah, I guess in terms of actual gameplay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And after that, they decided to go travel the world and, you know, be Street Fighters. And Chun-Li is involved, and so is her father.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like,
So if you ever wanted like a show involving the main three casts, you know, Chun-Li, Ken, and Ryu, this is the one to go with. It has some pretty good music, but it's just so weird in the fact that how they like mix in the lore of Street Fighter.
so wait, like, is this the show where we find out what happened to Chun-Li's dad?
Possibly.
Because he's supposed to be dead.
So yeah, he's supposed to be dead in Street Fighter 2. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's
like,
her whole point in
yeah.
Street Fighter 2. She's trying to find her dad's killer.
Yeah, she's trying to find her dad's killer. Once he finds it, and she finds her, she's like, now I can be a girl. It's really weird.
Yeah, that was always a weird ending in Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, it's like that's the end of her journey. It's like, no, she's too popular. She's the female character.
Yeah, so
She's too popular.
Yeah, so now she works for Interpol.
Yeah, she works for. But to be fair, I could go on a whole episode about this because I'm not even touching the Alpha movies because those were weird.
I mean, everyone heard the stories about the Street Fighter movie a lot. We all know the story about it, but I think the one that people really don't want to know more about is The Legend of Chun-Li.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the other animated film.
Oh, you mean the Alpha? Yeah, because I think the Alpha series, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
don't they kind of maybe hint that Akuma is like Ryu's dad or something?
They kind of hit on it.
But that's never like actual canon. Right?
No. But
Where the hell is that when this happened?
I don't know. Akuma is just. If that is the case, Akuma's the best like deadbeat dad because all he does is walk around killing people. That's all he does. He doesn't even want to deal with his kid.
It's like, who are you again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're you.
Yeah, he would be an awful father.
So
Join me, son. Follow the way that Tatsui no Hado.
yeah, we have a whole Darth Vader thing going on. So the next one, who here knows about Darkstalkers? Hey!
There we go.
There
Someone
we
that
go.
knows. Someone that
Someone
knows.
Someone that knows. So Darkstalkers is the other like Capcom fighting game that. Okay.
Like, it's horror movie themed, and I'm pretty sure you know at least one character. She always appears in almost everything Capcom related.
Yeah.
Morgan.
I'm pretty sure there's a Morgan cosplayer walking around here.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Morgan art here.
I've seen way too many Morgan art on my Twitter line, I'll say that. What does that say about me? I don't know. You're not wrong, sir.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Apparently it helps with your heart rate or something like that.
That's it. I don't. I would like to listen to a doctor first before I get medical advice from you. I'm gonna be honest.
I did not.
Alright.
Yes, it's one of the many other fighting games that Capcom released, and this is probably the second most well-known one, right? And it got so popular that it got its own cartoon.
Which doesn't make sense considering the state of Darkstalkers now, right?
That is the sad part.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a new Darkstalkers because it's like what 1, 2, Vampire Savior.
Vampire Savior 2.
Is
And
that it?
I believe so. We got a re-release of 2 of those games, and then we were supposed to get another one that was teased by Ono that never came out or heard from again.
Wasn't it like Darkstalkers aren't dead or something like that?
Yeah, that's the meme. That's the meme. That's the meme of it. But yeah, it got a cartoon. Aside from the cartoon, it did get some OVAs, which are probably a lot better. Yeah. He already knows what I'm talking about, because as soon as I mentioned Darkstalker cartoon, he looked away.
Interesting fact, by the way. Lord Rep.
Yeah, it was very. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So just play the clip as I walk away from it.
Welcome back to the world
See,
of the weird.
I feel like
I'm
we
your host,
deviated
Taylor
really
May,
far from the
and I'm
concept
chatting with
here.
my guest,
So I hear you got to
Dimitri
mention
Vesemov, who is
more
a
vampires and
vampire,
Morgan.
and Morgan Anslade,
In a talk
succubus.
show.
And we're talking about
What's
evil.
so weird about Dimitri? He has like a Homer rep ass like hairdo.
Subject.
He does have that kind of
I
hairdo.
know more about evil than you can
And
imagine.
then Morgan is Scottish for some reason.
Okay, so apparently that's more accurate.
Pathetic
Hey,
Apparently,
listen, alright? Do you not like a Scottish voice? Succubus?
yeah.
That part I agree with.
So this is the weird part. So I did try to do a little bit of research into the story or whatever there is. I know my man over there can probably, fact check me with it. So the main bad guy, Hyrod. So in this, we're introduced to his brother, a la Cooler Frieza style. So it's very weird. Like he's just like, I'm here to check up on my little brother, so I can beat his ass.
You better be doing good things, little brother.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if you know anything about Darkstalkers, it's very weird. Actually, if you want to have a good idea of what the show's about, just watch the intro. That intro sums up all the things that are wrong. Like, for one, from what I understand, Morgan and Dimitri aren't the bad guys, but they make them the bad guys because Succubus and Vampire.
Yeah, clearly, they're always bad, right?
Yeah. It's because they're definitely the bad guys. Felicia's the good guy. I mean, she is the good guy, so. I mean,
And unfortunately, this is one of those cartoons where like these kids they can't relate to these characters. We need to put a kid character here so they can have someone to relate to. You're missing 2 more grades, but you get the point.
there you go.
Jesus Christ.
No, he's in the next game.
No, wait, what?
I
Are you really for real with me?
no.
Oh, okay, thank God. Alright. But that would be kind of funny, though.
No,
there-
it just disappears like so what?
Yeah, there's like vampire runs in the game that like the main point is like this is like the most deviated like thing from what you're used to.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so like I guess the best comparison for you specifically, it's like what they did with the Halo TV show.
Oh, yeah. Okay, alright.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah, no. If you ever want to know how he feels about the Halo TV show, just go look up one of those episodes. You can see this man go down the like a breaking point.
Yeah, that show really sort of drained a lot on me.
It
Yeah.
did. It did. He looked at me with anger.
Just like, can't, just
Yeah. So like, but what also takes away from the fact is that Darkstalkers is kind of fun. It's goofy fun. John Talbane is like my favorite character from that game, and he's just kung fu werewolf dude, and he can just do it all. That's like as cool as you can get. Yes, I also play Saberwolf and Killer Instinct.
wolf thing, I get it.
Yeah, that's my boy. I love wolves. Does that make me what you think, guys? It makes you, just like say, wolves
We'll
are cool.
look at your internet history later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The guy you're looking at, you're through your laptop, not mine.
what does that mean?
It means a lot.
Alright, well.
So yeah,
Basically, the only good thing that came from the show was the voice actor for Lord Raptor. So apparently Capcom, they loved it so much as Lord Raptor, they asked them to come back again to do the Darkstalkers English dub for the OVAs.
yeah, Scott McNeil. That's another thing. A lot of the voice actors from like the Street Fighter cartoon moved on to here, and they're Canadian actors, and you can find them in like almost a lot of other things too.
Oh, yeah.
Scott McNeil is probably the best example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's like in everything back in like the 90s, early 2000s. If you watch like the OG Full Metal Alchemist anime, he voices the dad, like not father, but like Ed and Elle's dad. which is so weird because like, dude, you're like all the way up north, and this is Funimation in Texas.
Hey, listen, man's got talent, I guess.
He does. Yeah, and even the same thing goes with the animation quality. The animation is basically, I don't know how you degrade from further down, but you do because it's the same animation team that did the Street Fighter cartoon.
So what you're saying is they peaked in middle school and then they're just in a trench at this point, right?
Yeah, they're lower than the Marine Trench.
Mariana Trench?
Yeah,
Alright.
lower than that.
Jesus Christ.
Like not to shit on animators, I think they do a fantastic job.
But clearly they weren't given money here.
No, they were not given money.
Yeah, no, I have tried animation before in the past, and let me tell you, it is very difficult. So
I would imagine.
yeah, so so they have my full respect after going down and seeing like all the stuff they gotta do.
Yeah, no, they have my respect for it, but I will comment on the fact that the product is trash.
Now, question.
Yes.
Is Lilith in this? Because I know Lilith.
No.
No, Lilith's not in.
No, Lilith is not in this.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like who's the dude in Marvel Infinite again?
Jeddah.
Yeah, Jeddah. He's not in this either.
Really, I like Jeddah.
It was cool. He's one of my mains. And BB Hood is also not in this as well.
No, because they came from that. They were still the Japanese title, right? At the time.
I think so. I think the first Vampire Saber did came out, but the second one that was a different one.
Yeah, that was the one that had Jeddah, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now.
Yeah, go play Capcom Fighting Collection. That's the one that has all these games we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I mean, I feel like if it was successful, we would have gotten Jeddah, considering Pyron is like the main bad guy in like the other games.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's like again, like if you want to find like a really like this like heartening like adaptation of your favorite game, that is one of those right there. It hurts to see.
Like, if you want to see how ridiculous they get with this, just look up this one clip of the show. You can easily find on YouTube. It's Lord Raptor doing this beatboxing music video. And you would not believe the things that they animated in that short clip.
I don't want to look at that anymore.
That sounds terrible.
That's just wow.
What kind of drugs is you guys on making this show?
I don't know.
Like, it was the 90s, man. I mean,
I can't blame
My man over here says it's a lot. Just don't give it a number. Just say a lot. That's just it. All right. So the last one, and of course we can't talk about like over the top, funny animated fighting games without talking about. Like, I think the king of the
What's wrong with is that Kazuya?
That's Kazuya.
What's wrong with his face?
I don't know.
yeah, so before Tekken Bloodlines, before Tekken 1 and 2, we had Tekken the motion picture.
Yeah. Mhm. Oh yeah, this guy knows already. Yeah, no. It's funny because like, but when this came out, it was Tekken 3, so we have yet to go full nuts.
Yeah, no, like, this is basically like a recap of the first movie.
Forgive me if I'm wrong here, but doesn't Tekken 3 have Ogre? Isn't that kind of a little, like...
We haven't gone there yet.
Yeah, no, like we're talking about the first Tekken anime, not the new one that's on Netflix right now.
Oh, alright.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, story-wise, they're going with 1 and 2, which is fairly, simple, except for this one memeable moment, which lives in infamy, but in such a good way.
Sometimes I forgot that Jax was actually a regular dude.
No, he wasn't.
Oh.
No.
This is the stuff of legends. It's so dumb, but it's so good.
Like, I would have to give it a pass because he's a Mishin.
Yeah. So this is like a weird combo of Tekken 1 and Tekken 2. Tekken 1 is basically Kazuya is upset because his dad threw him off a cliff when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Seems appropriate considering what he just did.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad threw me off the cliff, and I felt okay.
I'm not your therapist, so we're not here for that. But no, yeah, so it's a mix of Tekken 1 where in that game, Kazuya defeats his father. Kazuya's not really a good guy, but he's kind of like beats his dad. And in the second one, it's the reverse. Hachi coming up against Kazuya, also devil powers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he just gets a bit more crazier after 3.
Yeah, after 3 we get a little more nuttier because 3 was technically held back a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I know Jax. Yes, I know Gon. Yes, I know
Ogre.
But it's fairly understandable compared to everything else.
Alright, that's fair enough, I guess.
Yeah. But the thing about this one is like it's a mix of 1 and 2, and it's just goes all ham because not only do we get the Mishima breaking an axe in his mouth, we're also getting the Alex. So remember the raptor?
Oh, okay,
So,
alright.
the boxing dinosaur that is in the game. This is kind of his origin, basically.
Yeah. Like, that's a weird origin. But
It's so
You know, that's the weirdest thing when considering that the show, or not the show, the game series has, Kuma and Panda as well. Like,
I actually don't recall that Kuma shows up in this. I
like,
don't recall.
He does, but only as a cameo. It's just like chilling in the background, around Mishima's palace or something.
You know, that's kind of disappointing considering the fact that we saw him have to do that. It's a little disappointing. I want to see the fighting bear.
I mean, you get to see him just like 1 second, frozen still in the background.
Like the story itself is not that great in this, and if you're watching the English dub, which sadly is the one I went with because it's hilarious, the dub is really bad.
Like, I'm not even aware about the dub.
There is a dub, and the dub is really bad. And again, I'm not trying to trash on the people that work on this. They work very hard.
They probably weren't paid a lot of money.
They weren't paid a lot of money, and they didn't do a good job of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm criticizing the work, not the people. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, no. Obviously, that's kind of all I had because I'm pretty sure there's a lot more out there. But these are the ones that really stuck out to me because like they're just so funny and bad and just almost hurts. I can't look at Dark Saga very well because that hurts me. I'm not even the biggest Dark Saga fan, and that hurts me. It's like a secondhand embarrassment kind of shit.
It's honestly kind of funny because when you look at this, it's like, oh, that doesn't seem like, it's kind of crazy just how much bad, the shows were.
Yeah.
But then you remember there's, other stuff that came out. Was the Mega Man cartoon, would you consider that bad?
Yeah.
I mean, it was from Geek, I think, so...
There was a weird episode where they did a crossover with X.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mega Man met with Mega Man X. That was so weird.
Yeah, I forget how to go. Was X supposed to be Mega Man in the future, or was that...
No, isn't he a different Mega Man?
He is technically a different Mega Man.
Yeah, so they still kept it as a different Mega Man in the games.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't want to go down the Mega Man.
So I just need to know, I need to ask, especially with Capcom, does Capcom ever, review whoever makes their stuff?
I think they do now.
Because, don't get me wrong, I know people really like the Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich, but, come on. Some of those kind of got weird, right?
You would have to question them considering that they got George Romero to be the director and then decided to pass on the script.
The fact that you just said we could have had a George Romero Resident Evil movie kind of hurts me.
He even hired someone to play the game for him so he could watch everything and see what happened in the game as he's writing the script.
That hurts so much more. Yes. Yeah, I remember that. That was so good. Oh my god.
Listen, I'm just glad we restricted ourselves to just the cartoons because I feel like if we, like we said with Daniel, we went into live action, the Legend of the Chun-Li movie, I feel like we'd be here
I'm
forever.
not touching that. I'm not touching that.
No, I mean, we can go even deeper than that. They want to hear see the Virtual Fighter anime.
Oh, no.
Just me? Yeah, because that was a show.
That was a show.
Are you a glutton for pain? Is that what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
I guess so. Because that was such a bizarre show. Because if you played Virtual Fighter before, there really isn't a story. It's supposed to be like a virtual combat game.
Your final boss in the last game is just a robot.
Yeah, so
that is just it. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so
he's just a robot.
Yeah, so throughout that whole anime, they had to create a whole original story. Because again, there is no story in Virtual Fighter, and it's super anime as you can expect. Like Kira, he's like the bumbling hero with a huge appetite and everything. And then you got the love interest, Pai-chan, and then I forgot who the villain is.
And it's funny that we're saying that there isn't a story because there isn't any character relationships at all.
Again, there is no character relationship. Yeah, you know their names, what they're into or whatever, but again, there really isn't any cutscenes or anything whatsoever in the game. It's not even a Virtual Fighter 5 or anything like that.
No. God.
Maybe if there's a manga out there, but
there probably is, considering how often there's mangas of any video game out there. I remember reading the Devil May Cry manga. That was just interesting.
I mean, you'll find interesting stuff out there. I mean, there's a Resident Evil manga where there's an outbreak in a high school.
Isn't that just High School of the Dead?
Yeah, but with less,
I mean, that's
So
more
less fun.
That's more zombies, though. Yes, Resident Evil has zombies, but we're talking bioweapons here.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad we did. Thankfully, SNK. You know, they did. You know, all the Fatal Fury OVAs. You know.
I could have. I
That's
could
okay.
have.
Yeah, much better than
I could have, but let's just say none of the clips would be allowed for me to show.
Okay, maybe not Fatal Fury, but we could probably still show something from Samurai Showdown.
They had a shenanigans.
Yes, it was. It's probably the worst of all the stuff we shot today.
Oh no! Oh no! I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, that or Art of Fighting.
Art of Fighting had one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Note to self. You gotta go back in time and just tell these guys.
I
to
told you
stop.
about the like there was Art of Fighting, there was Fatal Fury, and there was also Samurai Showdown, which is horrible. Like I cannot emphasize enough how bad it is. Like it's worse than Tekken, it's worse than Street Fighter, it's worse than Mortal Kombat.
Do they do justice to my brother? What's his name?
Amadou?
No.
No, he's talking about Art of
Art
Fighting.
of Fighting.
What's his name?
Robert Garcia.
Yeah,
Like, if I remember correctly, I thought Art of Fighting was pretty decent.
Okay.
But Samurai Showdown
Like
was
he's the closest thing that I have to a Latino. That's all I want.
like he's not even Latino, he's Italian.
I just want my kind of people in it. I mean, oh god, imagine if they did that. But again, like I would love to do Fatal Fury, but again, there's no clips there that I can show. Let's just say I get Sakurai. I get it. I understand why he didn't include her in Smash. I get it. God damn. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
He knows.
He knows. We all know. Just,
And to be fair, this podcast in the public setting right now is for good boys and girls, so we don't want to show anything too much now.
yeah, I don't want to get looks. I don't want to get those kind of looks. So I think that's about as much as we can say. Unless someone has a recommendation for us to talk about next time, I don't know. I think that's about it, guys. If you enjoy what you heard, be sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at the Geek Centurions, and we're most active on Instagram. Trying to get that fixed up. And yeah, we're also on YouTube for you guys want for like a face of the voice.
like you just did, like here right now.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, that's it. It's been me, your boy Eli.
It's me, Joe.
It's me, Daniel.
And thank you again, Comicpalooza for having us again. We'll be back again next year, hopefully. You guys have a good one. Peace.